You might be one of the best speakers in the world, but even when you start speaking after a certain amount of time, people will probably get bored. It's almost impossible today to listen too long to one person. Now imagine our challenge. We tour guides have to deliver tours here in Zurich about 100 minutes, 110 minutes. Now how to keep people's interest during the whole time of these 100 minutes? Now, first of all, we don't only have a speaking time, we also walk a lot. So I would say we typically speak about 50, 55, 60 minutes. Now, some of the tour guides will do, for example, 6 stops, and on each stop they will speak about 10 minutes. I personally am more in favor of doing more stops and shorter stops. So I will typically do about 15 stops in Zurich with 4 minutes speaking. And here, of course, when you have 4 minutes to speak and to explain something about the city, again, the main question that people will always ask during this tour is, so what? Why is it interesting for me as the listener? Now, how do I build these little speeches? I always ask myself, what's the sentence I want people to remember after this 4 minutes presentation? For example, although Switzerland is a very peaceful country, there are a lot of bunkers in this country. That's it. That's what I want people to remember after I speak about bunkers. We definitely have a stop during the tour where we speak about this issue, so I want people to remember that. So I can also start with that and then add some facts and figures to give some numbers. For example, there are 300,000 shelters. In total, there is a capacity of 8 point something million, even more than the Swiss population. So there is enough space for everybody, including all of you, my dear friends. You're all safe here. And here's also a great way to connect with the army. What happened in the army? What would the army do in case of a problem? And you can also add a personal story. Once I was in the army and I had to go to a bunker, I saw that, So always ask yourself, what is the must say? What do people really have to know? In this case, that Switzerland has a lot of bunkers. And what is nice to know? For example, my story related to that or some facts and figures. Now that you have these 15, let's say, mini stories, every story with one main sentence and some background information, another challenge is to connect them. So for example, when I speak about Großmünster, I connect the story of Großmünster with what I've said already at Fraumünster and at St. Peter's Church, for example, about the architectural style. There is really one line throughout the tour. And as I said, although these are 15 little stories, little units, at the end I combine them and make one big story out of them. And for this, the quiz is very good that I do at the end, where we really recombine all this information. What's your opinion on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please leave your comment and we'll speak about that.